Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, Kandat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Bhagavad Gita study session. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripātamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So we'll also recite the 3 verses that we've learnt until now. Ajan ulambita bhujau kanakavadhatau Sankirtanayakapitaro Kamalayatakshav Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagatpriyakaro Karunavataro Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha. Krishna Varanam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajner Sankirtana Prayet Yajanti hi Sumedasaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all for the teachings of Lord Chaitanya session. So we were seeing yesterday how Srila Prabhupada is talking about the nature and the appearance of Lord Shri Krishna in this world, right? That's where we went to our study of 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Prabhupada is talking about Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yoveti Tatvatah Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mamiti Swarjuna. Prabhupada is explaining how the Lord's appearance, Lord's name, form, activities are all transcendental. And when the Lord takes a particular form of incarnation, he does so by his own will. He never falls down. That's why he is called Achyuta. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. He is infallible. Therefore, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we living entities, how do we get our birth? We get our birth. We are forced to take our birth because of our previous karmas, because of we need to suffer certain what do you call reactions of our previous activities, right? So therefore we are born in this world to as per the higher authority, that who has actually put us into this condition so that we may become purified from our current state, like suffering for the various sinful actions done, getting enjoyment for some of the pious activities done in our previous lives, etc. So we have been put into a certain condition by other external forces, including the divine powers, who are empowered representatives of the Lord. But when the Lord appears, he's not put into any position. The Lord decides when he wants to appear, where he wants to appear, who would be his parents, who would be his associates, like that. The Lord will decide. Then in this way, the Lord incarnates. Why? Because the Lord incarnates by his own internal potency. That's where we ended yesterday. So let's go ahead and continue reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So who would like to read? Okay. Thus, we should not think that Krishna is okay. Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thus, we should not think that the Krishna is overpowered by the material potency when he is in the material world. Neither Krishna or his incarnation ever come under the control of material nature. They are totally free. Indeed, in Srimad Bhagavatam, one who has a godly nature is actually defined as one who is not affected by the modes of material nature. Although in material nature, if even a devotee can attain this freedom, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord? The real question is, how can we remain unpolluted by material contamination while in the material world? Srila Rupa Goswami explained that we can remain uncontaminated while in the material world. Uncontaminated while in the world, if we simply make it our ambition to serve Krishna. One may then justifiably ask, how can I serve? It is not simply a matter of meditation, which is just an activity of the mind, but of the performing practical work for Krishna. In such work, we should leave no resources unused whenever is there. Whatever we have should be used for Krishna. We can use everything: typewriters, automobiles, airplanes, missiles. If we simply speak to people about Krishna consciousness, we are also rendering service. If our minds, senses, speech, money, and energies are thus engaged in the service of Krishna, when we are no longer in material nature, by virtue of spiritual consciousness, of Krishna consciousness, we transcend the platform of material nature. It is a fact that Krishna, his expansion, and his devotees, that is, those who work for him, are not in material nature, although people with a poor fund of knowledge think that they are. The Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches that the spirit soul Mataji, your voice is not.
Sorry. Okay, I was on mute. sorry. Okay, so I was just saying, Prabhupada is talking about Yukta Vairagya in this particular paragraph, wherein Prabhupada is saying that one should not eliminate, or one should not reject, or one should not renounce any object which can be used in the service of Krishna. Right? If something can be used in the service of Krishna, might as well use it in the service. Right? We don't artificially say that this is material, so hence I will not use it in Krishna's service, I will reject it. Right? We should not be doing that. Why? Because that is Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya means we reject things. This is material, I will not touch this, I will not I will not use this, etc. But a higher form of that, right? That kind of Falgu Vairagya is useless because our mind is contemplating on it. Whereas in our heart we want to utilize it for our sense gratification, but externally we show as if we're not interested in it, right? So what better way of pronunciation is Yukta Vairagya. That means I know that everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord and should be used. Like Prabhupada gives example here of typewriter, microphone, mobile, everything, right? The speaker or whatever it is, whatever we are using, the paper, everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. And how do we utilize it in the service of the Lord? That determines whether we are Krishna conscious or not, right? Simply, we can also use our senses, right? Our senses also are jada. They are material. They are made out of the 5 material elements. But when we engage our tongue in glorifying the Lord, the hands and making stringing garlands for the Lord, legs and walking towards the temple of the Lord, or do parikrama of the temple deities, etc. Then we are doing, what are we doing? We are transcending the platform of material nature, because we are working for the Lord. When we are stringing garland, we are working for the Lord. When we are dressing the deities, we are working for the Lord. When we are bringing nice flowers and decorating the deities with flowers, we are working for the Lord. In such a case, we are already utilizing, whether it is the flowers or the clothes or the turbans or whatever it may be, right? Or the cushions, everything, we are utilizing it in the service of the Lord. And that is Yukta Vairagya, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada, they didn't ask us to renounce anything. They said, whatever ashram you are in, just continue to be in that ashram and engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the best way by which we can render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if we do that, then that is real Vairagya, right? Hare Krishna. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, who will read? The Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us that. Mala Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. The Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches that the spirit soul is immortal and that our activities in the spiritual world are also immortal. The Mayavadis, who hold the view that the absolute truth is impersonal and formless, contend that a realized soul has no need to talk. But the Vaishnavas, But the Vaishnavas, devotees of Krishna, contend that when one reaches the stage of realization, he really begins to talk. Previously, we only talked of nonsense. The Vaishnavas says, now let us begin our real talks of Krishna. In support of their view that the self-realized remains silent, the Mayavadis are fond of using the example of the water pot, maintaining that when a pot is not filled with water, it makes a sound, but that when it is filled, it makes no sound. But are we water pots? How can we be compared to them? A good analogy utilizes as many similarities between two objects as possible. A water pot is not an active living force, but we are. Ever silent meditation may be adequate for a water pot, but not for us. Indeed, when a devotee realizes how much he has to say about Krishna, 24 hours in a day are not sufficient. It is the fool who is celebrated as long as he does not speak, for when he breaks his silence, his lack of knowledge is exposed. The Chaitanya Charitamrita shows that there are many wonderful things to discover by glorifying the Supreme. In the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami writes, I offer my respects to my spiritual masters. He uses the plural here to indicate the disciplic succession. He offers obeisances not to his spiritual master alone, but to the whole parampara, the chain of disciplic succession beginning with Lord Krishna himself. Thus, the author addresses the Guru in plural to show the highest respect for all his predecessor spiritual masters. After offering obeisances to the disciplic succession, the author pays obeisances to all other devotees, to the Lord himself, to his incarnations, to the expansions of Godhead, and to the manifestation of Krishna's internal energy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes called Krishna Chaitanya, is the embodiment of all these. He is God, Guru, devotee, incarnation, internal energy, and expansion of God. As his associate Nityananda, he is the first expansion of God. As Advaita, he is an incarnation. As Gadadhar, he is the internal potency. And as Srivas, he is the marginal living entity in the role of a devotee. Thus, Krishna should not be thought of as being alone, but should be considered as eternally existing with all his manifestations, as described by Ramanujacharya. In the Vashishtadvaita,
Advaita.
God's energies, expansions, and incarnations are considered to be oneness in diversity. In other words, God is not separate from all of these. Everything together is God. Actually, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is not intended for the novice, for it is the postgraduate study of spiritual knowledge. Ideally, one begins with Bhagavad Gita and advances through Srimad Bhagavatam to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although all these great scriptures are on the same absolute level, for the sake of comparative study, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered to be on the highest platform. Every verse in it is perfectly composed. In the
Hare Krishna.
second
Thank you
verse,
much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. So here Prabhupada is actually giving us the hierarchy, right? In Nectar of Instruction, we saw the hierarchy about the holy dhams, right? How Mathura, Vaikuntha is there, and higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura, higher than Mathura is Dwaraka, higher than Dwaraka is Vrindavan, higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan, higher than Govardhan is Radhakund. Like that, we saw the hierarchy in Lord Krishna's Leela Sthalis, right? The places where Krishna performed his Leelas. Right. So similarly, here what is given, here what is specified is a level of hierarchy for studying shastras. Right. It is said that Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study. That means when we study the Bhagavad Gita, then we understand the first distinction between body and soul. And then we understand what we are supposed to do. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. And then when we move on to Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear the pastimes of all those devotees who perfected their life by following the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Right? We see the pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj. Right? So many pastimes we see. Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, like that. And then the highest level is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why? Because the Lord himself has appeared in the form of his own devotee. And in this way, when we are not at all qualified to study Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's what we started our session with, right? We are studying teachings of Lord Chaitanya because Prabhupada's mercy that we had, that the essence of the instructions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, that is actually captured by Srila Prabhupada in the summary study of the summary study of the book called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That all of the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, the conversations with Ramananda Rai, what are the teachings that we can derive from all of these pastimes? What is the quality that we can derive and practice in our life so as to become better devotees? That is what we are studying from here. That is from Chaitanya. That is what we study in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But because it's too high for us, the same essence of that, the essence of the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Goswami and all the others, that is what we're going to get, that essence by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So that is what we're going to study here. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the highest platform. Yeah, and the verses are perfectly composed. But we are not able to understand such a high level of philosophy and understanding because it's the highest level. But yet, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are getting the essence of such teachings through this book, which is Chaitanya, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, let's move forward. In the second verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Karpakavali Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you.
Why is it not clear?
Mataji, screens. Am I audible, Mataji?
Now it's
audible.
Okay. Yes.
Actually, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is not intended for. In the second verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Western world, Mataji.
No, in the second verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
In the second verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author offers his obeisances to Lord Chaitanya and the Lord Nityananda. He compares them to the sun and the moon because they dissipate the darkness of the material world. In this instance, the sun and the moon have risen together. In the Western world, where the glories of Lord Chaitanya are relatively unknown, one may inquire, who is Krishna Chaitanya? The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraja, answers that the question in the third verse of this book. Generally, in the Upanishads and the supreme absolute truth is described in an impersonal way, but the personal act of the absolute truth is mentioned in the Isha Upanishad, where we find the following verse: Hiranyamaya Partena
हिरण्येन
Satya
पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषन्न पावृण्णो
Satya
सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये.
Satyadharmaya Dishtate. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. Isha Upanishad 15. The impersonalists do not have the power to go beyond the effulgence of God and arrive at the personality of Godhead from whom this effulgence is emanating. The Isha Upanishad is a hymn to that personality of Godhead. It is not that the impersonal Brahman is denied. It is also described that the Brahman is revealed to be the glaring effulgence of the body of Lord Krishna. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we learn that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. In other words, Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the basis of impersonal Brahman, the Paramatma or Super Soul who is present within the heart of every living entity and within every atom of the universe is but the partial representation of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Krishna Chaitanya, being the basis of both Brahman and all-pervading Paramatma as well, is the supreme personality of Godhead. As such, he is full in six opulences: wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. In short, we should know that he is Krishna, God, and that nothing is equal to or greater than him. There is nothing superior to be conceived. He is a supreme person. Srila Rupa Goswami, a confidential devotee, taught for more than 10 days continually by Lord Chaitanya, wrote Namo Mahadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurav Deshi Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other avatar,
Ji, Hari
and
Bol.
even Krishna
Cannot hear
himself, because he is bestowing freely.
Sarugopi Shri Mataji, please continue. Karpaguli
Okay,
Mataji, voice is not clear. Breaking.
From where must I Srila Rupa
Yeah,
Goswami.
Shri Rupa Goswami. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. That are from Srila Rupa Goswami, a confidential devotee taught for more than 10 days continuously by Lord Chaitanya, wrote Namo Mahavatanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaure Krishe Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other avatara, even Krishna himself, because he is bestowing freely what no one else has ever given, pure love of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya's teachings begin from the point of surrender to Krishna. He does not pursue the paths of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Hatha Yoga, but begins at the end of the material existence, at the point where one gives up all material attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna begins his teachings by distinguishing the soul from matter. And in the 18th chapter, he concludes at the point where the soul surrenders to him in devotion. The Mayavadis would have all talked ceased there, but at that point, the real discussion only begins. As the Vedanta Sutra says at the very beginning, Atoto Brahmana Vidyasa. Now let us begin to inquire about the supreme absolute truth. Rupa Goswami thus praises Lord Chaitanya as the most munificent incarnation of all, for he gives the greatest gift by teaching the highest form of devotional service. In other words, he answers the most important inquiries that anyone can make. There are different stages of devotional service and God's realization. Strictly speaking, anyone who accepts the existence of God is situated in devotional service. To acknowledge that God is great is something, but not much. Lord Chaitanya, preaching as an Acharya, a great teacher, taught that we can enter into the relationship with God and actually become God's friend, parent, or lover. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna showed Arjuna his universal form because Arjuna was his very dear friend. Upon seeing Krishna as the Lord of the universes, however, Arjuna asked Krishna to forgive the familiarity of his friendship. Lord Chaitanya goes beyond this point. Through Lord Chaitanya, we can become friends with Krishna, and there will be no limit to this friendship. We can become friends of Krishna not in awe or adoration, but in complete
Freedom.
freedom. Where is the point?
Yeah, we can even relate to God here.
We can relate to God as his father or mother. This is the philosophy not only of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but of Srimad Bhagavatam as well. There are no other scriptures in the world in which God is treated as the son of a devotee. Usually, God is seen as the Almighty Father who supplies the demand of his sons. The great devotees, however, sometimes treat God as a son in the execution of devotional service. The son demands and the father and mother supply. And in supplying Krishna, the devotee becomes like a father or mother. Instead of taking from God, we give to God. It was in this relationship that Krishna's mother Yashoda told the Lord, "Here, eat this or you will die. Eat nicely." In this way, Krishna, although the preparator of everything, depends on the mercy of his devotee. This is the unique high level of friendship in which devotee actually believes himself to be the father or mother of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very wonderful. Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Hare.
So this is a very wonderful paragraph, right? Last couple of paragraphs, first and foremost, Prabhupada started with what are the opulences of the Lord, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has all the opulences that of Krishna. So Krishna is avatari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also avatari. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya Shriya, Jnana Vairagya Yaschaiva. These 6 qualities are completely full in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, and especially we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu symbolizes the quality of renunciation, right? Krishna himself symbolizes that quality when he actually became the charioteer of Arjuna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, we discussed yesterday how in his 24th year, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he actually took up this sannyas at the age of 24 years. And then he actually performed the role of a sannyasi very, very strictly. Right, he would not allow women to even offer obeisances to him, to also come in the near vicinity. He used to Parivrajaka Acharya, he used to travel. He used to go to South India Yatra, he used to go to Vrindavan Dham, he used to go to Navadvip, he used to go to the various Tirtha Kshetras, and that in this way he converted all of the Mayavadis to become Krishna devotees. And then in the last 24 years of his life, he actually spent in Jagannath Puri Dham. So here, Prabhupada is actually making a point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So whatever is the instruction Krishna gave to Arjuna, right, what we take as the manual for our life, those same instructions are demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how it has to be done. And those essence of such teachings are actually which are given to Rupa Goswami, which are given to Sanatana Goswami, or what is captured in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya by Srila Prabhupada in a very, very succinct, in a very, very capsuled way, right? We want fast food, we want something that can be easily digested, easy, which should not take much time. So the essence of Chaitanya Charitamrita teachings is what Srila Prabhupada is giving us by this teachings of Lord Chaitanya book, right? And also Prabhupada is saying that not only is the Lord the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we can also have a kind of relationship with the Lord wherein we think that the Lord is dependent on us. We don't think that, oh Lord, give me my daily bread, right? That's what Prabhupada mentions in lectures. That Christians, you go to the Lord and then they say, oh Almighty Lord, give me my daily bread. Please forgive us for my sins as I forgive those against us. Do not bring us to the test. but deliver us from evil, right? I've studied in Christian missionary school. So this is the prayer every day in the morning we do. We go to the chapel and then we glorify the Lord. But even that is good. It is like at least you're recognizing that Supreme Lord who is the provider of everything. That's very good. But then much higher philosophy is actually given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where a devotee thinks that the Lord will not have anything with if I don't serve the Lord, right? So this bhava or this emotion is what Lord Krishna likes, right? So in this way, when there is love and reciprocation between the Lord and the devotee, the Lord likes this much more than the awe and reverence that many people give to the Lord. Oh, the Lord will get angry if I don't pray to him. If I don't offer obeisances, the Lord will get angry, he might punish me, right? So different levels are there. At some point we worship the Lord as a matter of duty. The Lord has given me so many things. The Lord has given me this body also so that I can enjoy according to my desires. So everything the Lord has given me, it is my duty to at least acknowledge the fact that there is a Lord and worship that Lord. And that is the lowermost level. And then higher than that is when we reciprocate with the Lord, and we don't artificially try to remove the opulence of the Lord, but we know that the Lord is great, but yet the Lord is so merciful that the Lord is giving us an opportunity to serve him, either through the Archa Vigraha form or through the chanting of the holy name. So in this way, the Lord is giving us opportunity to serve him. So in this way, when we serve the Lord, then we will be able to become dear to the Lord, to be able to understand the Lord better like that. Okay, Deval Mataji, go ahead. However, Lord Chaitanya's greatest gift.
Hare Krishna Mataji, that was pronounced. However, Lord Chaitanya's greatest gift was his teaching that Krishna can be treated as one's lover. In this relationship, the Lord becomes so much attached to his devotee that he expresses his inability to reciprocate. Krishna was so obliged to the gopis, the cowherd girls of Vrindavana, that he felt unable to return their love. I cannot repay your love, he told them. I have no more assets to give. Devotional service on this highest, most excellent platform of lover and beloved, which had never been given by any previous incarnation of Acharya, was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Krishnadasa Kaviraja, quoting Rishi Rupa Goswami, writes in the 4th verse of this book, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in a yellow complexion, and he is Sachinananda, the Sachinanda, the son of Sachinanda, sorry. Sachinandana, the son of Mother Sachi. He is the most charitable personality because he came to deliver Krishna Prema, unalloyed love for Krishna to everyone. May you always keep him in your hearts. It will be easy to understand Krishna through him.
Yeah,
We
so
have
this
often
is
heard the phrase love of Godhead.
Just one second. So here, this is the verse we studied. See, if you see the verses that we have been studying for the last 3 days, right? This verse is Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishna, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yajna Sankirtana Prayer, Yajanti Hi Su Medasaha. That is what is this verse depicting, right? In the 4th verse of the Lord Krishna is Chaitanya, Lord Krishna in his yellow form, right? Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is the mother, and he is the son of Mother Shachi. Why is the most charitable personality? Like we know that what is the best form of charity? The best form of charity is that charity which would help one's soul to evolve. And what is the best kind of charity? The Supreme Lord only can give the best kind of charity because everything is within his custody. So he has come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give Krishna Prema itself, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya. This is another second verse which we studied. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Krishna Prema Pradhayate. He is giving us Krishna Prema to everybody and anybody, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne. His name is Krishna Chaitanya. Namne Gaurat Vishe Namaha. He is in the form of a golden complexion, like that. Okay, yes, Mataji, go ahead. We've often heard the phrase.
Yeah, we have often heard the phrase love of Godhead. How far this love of Godhead can actually be developed can be learned from the Vaishnava philosophy. Theoretical knowledge of love of Godhead can be found in many places and in many scriptures. But what that love of Godhead actually is and how it is developed can be found in the Vaishnava literatures. It is a unique and highest development of love of God that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even in this material world, we can have a little sense of love. How is this possible? It is due to the presence of our original love of God. Whatever we find within our experience, within this conditioned life, is situated in the Supreme Lord, who is the ultimate source of everything. In our original relationship with the Supreme Lord, there is real love, and that love is reflected pervertedly through material conditions. Our real love is continuous and unending, but because that love is reflected pervertedly in this material world, it lacks continuity and is inebriating. if we want real transcendental love, we have to transfer our love to the supreme lovable object, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Should I continue?
No, thank you. So, see, that is why we say Shravanari Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. That means what? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, the love for Him is already lying dormant in our heart. It is not that something we getting external from somewhere else, right? But then the awakening that Krishna is all in all, Krishna is always present in my heart. It is my natural disposition to actually love the Supreme Personality of God and engage in His service. But somehow or the other, I have forgotten that and I'm engaging in all the other things, because of which I'm getting frustrated. But how can I revive that love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead? By hearing about Him, by chanting His glories. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. By doing that, what happens? My heart gets purified. And when my heart gets purified, then I will all be able to revive or reawaken my relationship or my love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, like that. And then Prabhupada, like we always speak about love and lust, right? Urdu Moola Mataha Shakam, right? That means in this material world, there is no love, right? In this material world, we are all trying to exploit each other and try to satisfy our senses. Like Radhanath Maharaj was telling in one class, we love things and we use people to get those things. But rather what we should do, we should love people and we should use things so that our relationship with the people are maintained, right? But then we do vice versa, because of which there is a lot of fight and everyone is trying to exploit the other, trying to usurp things away from other people, trying to get access to various things and enjoy like that. Because we are loving things, and what is this? We are using people to get those things that we want. In this way, all our relationships also get strained. But rather, we should love people. Why? Because that is the vision of a devotee, right? Because every person is an amsha of the Supreme Personality of God. It is my duty to serve each and every entity of this world, knowing them to be parts and parcels of the Lord, right? And things are supposed to be utilized in Lord Krishna's service. That is what is Yukta Vairagya. That's how we started today's session, right? So Yukta Vairagya means using everything in the service of the Lord and seeing everyone not as objects of sense gratification, how I can use this person to get what I want. No, that is not the vision of a devotee. To see how we can all engage together in the service of the Lord. That is the essential principle that Prabhupada is talking here. That is the essential basic principle of Krishna consciousness. That means we want real transcendental love, not that love where we are trying to exploit and get things done out of others, right? So here we will end teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Tomorrow we'll start from in material consciousness. We're trying to love that which is not at all lovable, right? Cats and dogs also love, but what happens at the end of the body? There is no love, right? In between also they start fighting. There are divorces which are happening, right? Such kind of love can never continue. Now, if there is no element of sacrifice or compromise, keeping Lord Sri Krishna in the center of everything. Otherwise, love at first sight and divorce at first fight. That's what happens. All right. So now let's move on to Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So yesterday we were talking about Pratyag Atma and Parag Atma. Parag Atma means one is Parag and Pratyag. Tyag is there. So when the word Tyaga is there, that means one actually gives up material enjoyment for a higher purpose, right? That's what the acharyas explain as param drishtva nivartate, right? As long as the soul is attached to sense enjoyment, it is paragatma. Paragatma means always trying to find out how I can enjoy this, how can this give me enjoyment, how can I use this for a sense enjoyment. That is paragatma. But pratyagatma, tyaga is there. That means I am withdrawn, I am austere, right? I withdraw my mind from the objects of the senses. In this way, I am situated in my constitutional position as a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pratyaga atma. That means I am firmly situated in austerity. I am not situated simply for sense gratification, like that. Okay, so now today we have to start from 4.28. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. 4.28. द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपो यज्ञा योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्याय ज्ञानयज्ञश्च यतयः संशिता व्रताः. Mataji, able to unmute yourself?
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, synonyms, Mataji.
Yeah, synonyms, word to word translation.
Okay.
Dravya yajnaha.
Dravya yajnaha, sacrificing one's possessions. Tapaha yajnaha means a sacrifice in eightfold mysticism. Tatha, thus, apare, others.
Swadhyaya.
Sacrifice in the
Vedas.
Vedas. Gnana yagna, sacrifice in advancement of transcendental knowledge. Here also, yet enlightenment persons, some sita vrataha, taken to strict vows. Having accepted strict vows, some becomes enlightened by by sacrificing their possessions and
Here, having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, others by performing severe austerities.
By practicing the yoga of an eightfold mysticism or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. Purport. This sacrifice may be fitted into various divisions. There are persons who are sacrificing their possessions in the form of various kinds of charities. In India, the rich mercantile community or princely orders open various kinds of charitable institutions like Dharmashala, Annakshetra, Sala, Anathalaya, and Vidyapit. In other countries too, there are many hospitals, old age homes, and similar charitable foundations meant for the distributing food, education, and medical treatment free to the poor. All these charitable activities are called the Dravya Maya Yagna. Dravya Maya Yagna. There are others. Mataji, please. There are others who for higher elevation in life for
promotion to higher planets.
Promotion to the higher planets within the universe. Voluntarily accept many kinds of austerities such as Chandrayana and Chaturmasya. This process entails severe vows for conducting life under certain rigid rules. For example, under the Chaturmasya vow, the candidate does not shave for 4 months during the year, July to October. He does not eat certain foods, does not eat twice in a day, or does not leave home. Such a sacrifice of the comforts of life is called Tapomaya Yagna. There are still others who engage themselves in different kinds of mystic yogas like the Patanjali system for merging into the existence of the Absolute, or Hatha Yoga, or
Ashtanga Yoga.
Ashtanga Yoga for particular perfections, and some travel to all the sacrificed places of pilgrimage. All these practices are called Yoga Yagna. Sacrifice for a certain type of perfection in the material world. There are others who engage. Right, Mataji?
Yeah. There are others who engage in the studies of
different Vedic literature, specifically the Upanishad and Vedanta Sutras or the Sankhya philosophy. All of these are called Swadhyaya Yagna or engagement in the sacrifice of studies. All these yogas are faithfully engaged in the different types of sacrifice and are seeking a higher status of life. Krishna consciousness, however, is different from this because it is the direct service of the Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness cannot be attained by any one of above mentioned types of sacrifice, but can attain only by the mercy of the Lord and his bona fide devotees. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is transcendental.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we are also doing what is called Swadhyaya Yajna. Right? We have been studying those 3 verses. Every day we are by hearting. We're trying to memorize the verses. We are studying teachings of Lord Chaitanya. We are studying Bhagavad Gita. We are studying Act of Instruction. We are studying the Vedic scriptures. So all of this, what are we doing? We are doing Swadhyaya. Right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Swadhyaya, 17.15, chapter 17. Krishna says, Anudvega Karam Bhakyam Satyam Priyam Hitam Chayat Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva Varmaya Tapa Uchyate. Right? What is the tapa or the austerity of the speech? Right? We can exercise austerity in speech by speaking words that are very pleasant, by speaking words that are beneficial to others, and by also studying the Vedic literatures. Swadhyaya, Abhyasana, Chaiva, by practice of study of Vedic literatures, and then Satyam, Priyam, Hitam Chayat. So three ways by which we exercise austerity of the tongue or what we speak is by speaking the truth, speaking what is beneficial to others, and speaking in a pleasing way. Right? Swadhyaya and also study of the scriptures. By doing this, what do we do? We engage in austerity of the tongue. That means we know what to speak, what not to speak, how to speak, when to stop talking, etc. Like that. Okay, so that's what it is. And our study of the 3 verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita and 1 verse of Chaitanya Bhagavat, what we are studying, right? Every day when we are repeating those verses, and what happens? We are practicing the actual austerity of the tongue, right? Austerity of speech, like that. Okay, let's move forward. Text number 29. Sudha Mataji, go ahead. आपने जुवति प्राणम प्राणे अपानम तथा परे प्राणापानगति प्राणायाम प्रायणाः अपरे नियतहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुवति.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Synonym, apane, in the air which acts downward, juvati, offer, pranam, the air which acts outward, prane, in the air going outward, apanam, the air going downward, tata, as also, apare, others, prana, of the air going outward, apana, and the air going downward, gati, the movement, rudva, checking, pranayama, trance induced by stopping all breathing, parayanaha, so inclined, apare, others, niyata, having control, ahara, eating, pranan, the outgoing air, praneshu, in the outgoing air, juvati, sacrifice. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport, translation. Still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. Purport. This system of yoga for controlling the breathing process is called pranayama, and in the beginning, it is practiced in the hatha yoga system through different sitting postures. All of these processes are recommended for controlling the senses and for advancement in spiritual realization. This practice involves controlling the airs within the body so as to reverse the directions of their passage. The apana air goes downward and the prana air goes up. The pranayama yogi practices breathing the opposite way until the currents are neutralized into puraka equilibrium. Offering the exhaled breath into the inhaled breath is called rechak. When both air currents are completely stopped, one is said to be in the Kumbhaka Yoga. By practice of Kumbhaka Yoga, one can increase the duration of life for perfection in spiritual realization. The intelligent yogi is interested in attaining perfection in one life without waiting for the next. For by practicing Kumbhaka Yoga, the yogis increase the duration of life by many, many years. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, automatically becomes the controller of the senses. His senses, being always engaged in the service of Krishna, have no chance of becoming otherwise engaged. So, at the end of life, he is naturally transferred to the transcendental plane of Lord Krishna. Consequently, he makes no attempt to increase his longevity. He is at once raised to the platform of liberation, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati yaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord transcends the modes of material nature and is immediately elevated to the spiritual platform. A Krishna conscious person begins from the transcendental stage and he is constantly in that consciousness. Therefore, there is no falling down, and ultimately, he enters into the abode of the Lord without delay. The practice of reduced eating is automatically done when one eats only Krishna prasadam, or food which is offered first to the Lord. Reducing the eating process is very helpful in the matter of sense control. And without sense control, there is no possibility of getting out of the material entanglement. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we all know, we do also sometimes do this pranayama, right? That we breathe in through one nose, hold the breath, and then breathe out through the other nose. Breathe into the right nose, hold the breath, and then breathe out through the left nose. That's what they give us. When we focus on the breath, right? Then what they say is, when we hold the breath, the times, our because we've not taken those breaths, we've held those breaths, to that extent our ayu increases, like that they explain, right? And whereas Kumbhaka yoga and all of those, right? But at least why we also devotees, Prabhupada has told that we can also use it, provided it helps us to focus our mind. So maybe just before we chant our rounds, or in between if we're getting very distracted, our mind is going here, there, everywhere, to align the mind back to chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, we can quickly do about 2 to 3 minutes of pranayam, or we simply do deep breathing. Just focus on the breath, right? In that way, what are we doing? All the unnecessary thoughts that is clouding our mind and kind of frustrating us, they all go away. And in that way, we'll be able to focus on the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So whatever we may do, right? Ultimately, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to chant and hear the Mahamantra properly. That is the Yuga Dharma for this age of Kali. Okay, text number 30. Monimala Mataji, go ahead. Sarve api yajna vido.
सर्वे यज्ञवितो
यज्ञाक्षपित कल्मषाः
सभी कल्पोभिषता कर्मशा
कल्मषाः
कल्मषाः
यज्ञाशिष्टामृतभुजो
यज्ञाशिष्टामृतभुजो
यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम्.
यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम. हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम. सर्वे AP, although apparently different, ete, all these, Yanga Vida, conversant with the purpose of performing, Yogya, sacrifices, Kaspita, being clean of the result of such performances, Kalmasha, sinful reactions, Yogya Shista, as a result of such performances of Yogyo, Amrata Bhuja, those who have tasted such nectar, Yanti, do approach, Brahma, the Supreme, Sanatanam, eternal atmosphere. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reaction, and having tasted the nectar of the remnants of such sacrifice, they go to the Supreme eternal atmosphere. Purport done by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From the foregoing explanation of different types of sacrifice, namely sacrifice of one's possessions, study of the Vedas or philosophical doctrines, and performance of the yoga system, it is found that the common aim of all is to control the senses. Sense gratification is the root cause of material existence. Therefore, unless and until one is situated on a platform apart from sense gratification, there is no chance of being elevated to the eternal platform of full knowledge, full bliss, and full life. This platform is in the eternal atmosphere or Brahman atmosphere. All the above mentioned sacrifices help one to become cleansed of the sinful reactions of material existence. By this advancement in life, one not only becomes happy and opulent in this life, but also at the end he enters into the eternal kingdom of God. either merging into the impersonal Brahman or associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Haribol Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Right? So, by performing this yoga process, always remembering Krishna, connecting everything with Krishna, and doing everything in order to improve our devotional service. When this is our attitude, then what does it indicate? It indicates selflessness. That means I'm working for Krishna, working for the satisfaction of Krishna. So I don't think I in all situations. I think of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna in all situations. How can I serve Krishna in this opportunity? How can in this situation? How can I serve the Lord? How can I serve the devotees? That's why sacrifice is the key word. Sacrifice of one's possessions, sacrifice of one's what do you call, propensity to hoard things, right? The sacrifice of one's own gratificatory propensities. I want this, I want more of this. One's own greed for material things. All of this we can avoid, and in that way we'll develop selflessness, and in this way we'll be able to progress in Krishna consciousness, like that. Okay, so okay, I can see Nagavini Mataji's hand up. We'll end with Nagavini Mataji. Okay, Mataji, go ahead. Text number 31. Nayam lokosti ayajnasya koto nyaha kuru sattama. So, what about translation? Nagavini Mataji, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, Rohini Mataji, go ahead. Synonyms.
Synonyms. Pranam Mataji.
Pronouns.
Na, never. I am this. Loka, planet. Asti, there is. Yajnasa, for one who performs no sacrifice. Kuta, where is. Anya, the other. Kuru Sattama. Sorry, Mataji.
Kutaha, where is. Right?
Kutaha. Okay. Kutaha, where is. Anya, the other. Kuru Sattama, O best among the Kurus. Translation. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? Purport. Whatever form of material existence one is in, one is invariably ignorant of his real situation. In other words, existence in the material world is due to the multiple reactions to our sinful lives. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, and sinful life is the cause of one's dragging on in material existence. The human form of life is the only loophole by which one may get out of this entanglement. The Vedas therefore give us a chance for escape by pointing out the paths of religion, economic comfort, regulated sense gratification, and at last the means to get out of the miserable condition entirely. The path of religion or the different kinds of sacrifice recommended above automatically solves our economic problems. By performance of yajna, we can have enough food, enough milk, etc., even if there is a so-called increase of population. When the body is fully supplied, naturally the next stage is to satisfy the senses. The Vedas prescribe, therefore, sacred marriage for regulated sense gratification. Thereby one is gradually elevated to the platform of release from material bondage, and the highest perfection of liberated life is to associate with the Supreme Lord. Perfection is achieved by the performance of yajna, sacrifices described above. Now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life even in this body, and what to speak of another body on another planet? There are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is an immense happiness for persons engaged in different kinds of yajna. But the highest kind of happiness that a man can achieve is to be promoted to the spiritual planets by practice of Krishna consciousness. A life of Krishna consciousness is therefore the solution to all the problems of material existence. A life of Krishna consciousness is therefore the solution to all the problems of material existence. Hari Bol.
Okay. All right. So maybe Rohini Mataji wanted all of us to focus on that statement. She read twice. Thank you. Okay. So here, we'll read once more. Life of Krishna consciousness is therefore the solution to all the problems of material existence. Right? It's a powerful statement actually. Right? We have to live our life as yajna. That means we have to live our life as a sacrifice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moment we engage in sense gratification, to that extent, to perform the next yajna becomes difficult for us. But if performing yajna becomes a way of life for us, that is the best situation to be in. right? That is the situation in which the great devotees are already in. Whatever they do, yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad joshi, dadashiyat, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever charity you perform, right? Whatever you do, just do it as an offering to me, Krishna is saying. And that is exactly what is yajna. All right, Nagavani Mataji, last chance. Okay, text number 32. Quickly, we'll end with you. Text number 32. एवं बहुविधा यज्ञा वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विदितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. Synonyms of word-to-word translation. Evam, thus, bahuvida, various kinds of. Yajnah, sacrifices. Vitatah are spread. Brahmanah, of the Vedas. Mukhe, through the mouth. Karmajan, born of work. Vidhi, you should know. Tan, them. Sarvan, all. Evam, thus. Jnatva, knowing. Vimokshase, you will be liberated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, Rohini Mataji, go ahead. Translation.
All these different types of sacrifices are approved by Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. Purport. Different types of sacrifices discussed above are mentioned in the Vedas to suit the different type of worker, because men are so deeply absorbed in the bodily concept that these sacrifices are so arranged that one can work either with the body, with the mind, or with the intelligence. But all of them are recommended for ultimately bringing about liberation from the body. This is confirmed by the Lord herewith from His own mouth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so what is Lord confirming by His own mouth here? Karmajan nityidan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase. Right? Evam bahu vida yajna vidata brahmano mukhe. Right? Brahmano mukhe means the Lord Krishna is actually speaking to us through the modes of the Vedas. Right? Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo. Vedaha with what is that? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo. Vedanta krid, Vedavid eva chaham. So Vedavid, I am the knower of the Vedas, right? Vedanta krid, I am the writer of the Vedas, right? So in this way, when we are studying these Vedic texts, Bhagavad Gita, we are actually associating with Krishna himself. And when we are reading the purports of Prabhupada, we are associating with Prabhupada himself. That's why Prabhupada said that even when I'm not aware in this material world, you can always associate with me by studying my books. In this way, you will always be in association with me, right? With the body, mind, and intelligence, right? We use our senses, right? We speak, we read the verses with our mouth, we hear with the ears, and then we try to absorb the contents through our mind. We try to understand this by using our intelligence. All of this should lead to liberation. What is liberation? Mukti. Mukti is mukti hitvanyata rupam swarupena yavastitihi. That means actual mukti means not to merge in the Brahman, but what is mentioned here as mukti is actually to be eternally engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So with that, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Grantraj Teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki jai. We will end right now. Okay, I believe Rohini Mataji did not see our messages. She joined sharp at 12:30 p.m. So Mataji, you can catch it up on YouTube. So we will end here, and then let's quickly do Harinam Sankirtan, and let's take darshan of all the devotees at the end of the session, and then we'll end here. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Aschathyadi Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan, Jaya Balagopal, Jaya Balagopal, Balagopal, Jaya Balagopal, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Gurudev, Gurudev, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in. Ancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So actually, I'm going today to get the cloth and give stitch deities, stitch dress for our deities for Gaura Purnima, which is on 25th. So request devotees to kindly pray that we get the best cloth, we get the best design, we get the best tailor. So today, I'm going to actually go for a new tailor because the earlier that person who used to stitch is kind of busy. So we are going to Vashi. So in this way, request all the devotees to pray nicely so we can get wonderful best dress for Gauranitai, wonderful jewelry, wonderful turbans like that for the deities. And also coming Thursday, we may not be able to have coming Friday, we'll not be able to have our session. So instead of coming Friday, we will have it on Saturday. So just please mark your calendars. This week, we will not have on Friday, but rather we will have on Saturday. And then we'll have again on Monday. So that way we'll continue our teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nagavini Mataji's hand is up for reading. So Mataji, better luck next time. Anyone else who has any queries, everyone can unmute themselves now. Nagavini Mataji also can try. Nagavini Mataji also can also try. And any queries or any realizations, if anyone wants to share, we can do so. Otherwise, we can end our session right now. Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you so much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Anantapuri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Okay, Mala Mataji is there today. Vanmali Prabhu is there. Okay, the rest are all our usual devotees. Okay, maybe Mala Mataji also joins regularly, but today she chose to give us a